Yeah, I've
So
actually had the same experience reading these quotes because I'll read them. I'm like, what? I could have swore I, heard some new age person, in Malibu or something say that, and or it was in some new book or new concept. And I'm like, wait a second, yeah, 2,000 years ago, and it's deep and it's nuanced and it's super relevant to exactly what was happening today. And
but by the way, the
yeah,
whole philosophy of Stoicism, cognitive behavior therapy would be almost plagiarism of some of their stuff. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to do a whole thing on, the link between cognitive behavior therapy, which is, one of the most effective therapeutic tools that we have in clinical psychology and psychiatry in terms of talk therapy, not pharmacological intervention. And then so many of those insights, the Stoics had already covered.
yeah, it's fascinating how far ahead they were, and they don't really get the credit for it. So I'm glad you're doing a deep dive into that. And I've been doing my own little research myself. I guess I wanted to finish and ask you about the Middle East. I got the privilege of going to Beirut in 2005. I was kind of an American in London, been here for a few years, and my travel agent suggested it. And I said, isn't it dangerous? And he's like, well, Brian, don't you see what's happening in London? Can't be more dangerous. I went there with an American friend. We had an amazing time. It was fascinating and very wild. I later went to Tel Aviv. I've been to Jerusalem. I just got back from Dubai. And they're all very different places in the Middle East, but I also find them all, I don't know, very satisfying places, with people that are kind of from the earth, real straight shooting people that have a lot of warmth and a lot of realness and a lot of brotherly love. Does that make sense? Hard for me to put my finger on it. And I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that question. One of the things that I regret the most as a parent, maybe the only thing that I so far regret, and may be the only regret that I ever experienced, is that, so I speak, my mother tongue is Arabic. I speak fluent French, which we learned also in Lebanon. Lebanon used to be a French protectorate. Of course, English and Hebrew. My wife speaks English, French, and Armenian because she's Lebanese Armenian. So she left Lebanon at a time when she hadn't yet learned Arabic, but at home they spoke Armenian. So between the two of us, we speak 5 languages, and yet our children only speak English and French, because if I spoke to them in Arabic or Hebrew, then my wife would be locked out. If she spoke to them in Armenian, then I would be locked out. And we ended up only speaking in English and French. Now, why am I saying this? Because that which you're talking about, you go to this new land, it's exotic, it's different, it's people of the earth, it's brotherly and so on. That Middle Eastern vibe, I would want to, part of it you could say, oh, it's just in your genes, but part of it, of course, is cultural. I want my children to go back to Lebanon. I want to spend a 2-year visiting professorship at AUB, American University of Beirut, where they could come back flawless in their Arabic speaking. Yet I choose not to because maybe I'm wrong, but I consider it too dangerous. First, for the unique reality of Gad Saad, also someone who has criticized some things that someone might get offended by in the Middle East. So I really regret that I haven't been able to immerse not only myself in returning to my homeland, but in getting my children to experience it, precisely because a lot of those qualities that you as an outsider were able to see, that's how we are made. That's how we roll in the world. That's why I have that unique, yes, a large part of it is just, it's Gad Saad, it's my unique personhood, but a lot of it stems from the world that I come from. For example, people would call me, friends would call me and say, when I was a kid at home at my parents' house, and would say, oh, what's happening over there? There seems to be, is it people fighting? I said, no, nobody's fighting. They're just talking in the background. Why? Because we're animated, because we're passionate, because we tease each other, because you can't grow up in the Saad household and be anything but a honey badger, because you're going to be eaten alive. And so there is this camaraderie, there's passion, there is food, there's that, I hate to say it, I don't mean to be stereotypical, is oftentimes lacking in the austere world of the West, and right, that as you said, the earth stuff. which, by the way, is one of the reasons why I detest, to go back to our earlier conversation, why I detest those calculations of faux niceness. As a matter of fact, when you come to our house, by the way, let's say if ever one day I have the pleasure of inviting you to our home, you better be sure that you're not leaving the house until you've put on 5 pounds, because in a Lebanese house, it would be greatly dishonorable if you didn't eat 17 plates. Well, it's the exact opposite in a Western home. If you ask for seconds, you're a glutton, you're a pig. Well, if you don't ask for fifth in my home, that means we weren't good hosts. That means you are insulting us because our food is not good, and so on. So those elements are things that are so rich, that are so beautiful, that really add to the richness of the fabric of social interactions. And so I hear you. I hope that one day I could return to the Middle East, but to kind of give a prognosis of whether I think it will happen or not, I think if two things have to happen in the Middle East. Number one, you have to, and I don't know if it's possible to do this. Number one, you have to get rid of the tribal mindset, right? You have to go back to deontological systems that recognize that, there are universal values that we could band around that are more important than whether I am Sunni or Shia or Maronite or Jewish. If there's a way to inculcate the Middle East with that, that will be a big tick of positivity. The second thing, there is astonishing, fatal corruption in many Middle Eastern countries, which don't allow for the flourishing of, civil, societies. Lebanon is a great example. So if there is a way, and I'm not sure that you can solve these two problems as much as you can, cure cancer tomorrow, but if you can, then I think, my God, you would unleash a potential from the Middle East that's much bigger than all the oil riches. The richness of our culture is astounding, and boy, that would be a great thing.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, got to do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.